spiritual world is real, and there are people walking around that are possessed. And this man had to find out the hard way that his ex-wife is one of those people that are possessed. So this man got scared and had to call the cops because his ex-wife kept calling him back to back, leaving strange messages. And I know you're going to say, well, that doesn't mean she was possessed. But when you hear these messages, you're going to understand that something was wrong with her. Mind you, while all of this was taking place, she was supposed to be watching their children. She sounded like either she was an alien or she sounded like the devil was in there with her. But you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. Tell me this is normal. Listen to this.
For many years, you're positive that is her voice?
Yes.
Okay.
Nah, man. So you telling me that sounds normal? Nah. So y'all telling me that's normal? I had to turn that shit off because I felt like something was messing with my spirit. That's not normal. That lady was possessed.
Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of great millstones. Peace, mercy, and blessings unto the hopeful elect, the Israelites of the Bible, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And I found this video on social media. You got this Jake talking about how this Esau Edom, so-called white man, he's showing voices from his wife or ex-wife. And you can see how she's possessed by these demons, these demon spirits, man. It sounded like if it was from a Exorcist movie or like those scary movies when you see people that are possessed by demons or evil spirits. And you could hear it from this woman that was calling her husband, how she sounded different. And it reminded me in the book of Mark. It's the book of Mark, chapter 5, verse 1. And this is when Yahweh Shai, who the world entity calls Jesus Christ, was going around preaching the gospel to the people, and like he said, he was rebuking evil spirits and healing the blind and the deaf or the lame, showing the doctrine of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So this is the book of Mark, chapter 5, verse 1, because there is people out here that got evil spirits in here, they got demons in them, man. This is the book of Mark, chapter 5, verse 1. And they came over unto the other side of the sea, and the country of Gadarenes. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with unclean spirits. So this was a man with unclean spirits, who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains. So this man had a strong ass spirit that no man could bind him, not even with chains, because that he had been often bound with feathers and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the feathers broke in pieces. Neither could any man tame him. And always night and day he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones. So he had a evil ass spirit that was crying all the times at night and day and cutting himself. But when he saw Yahweh Shai far off, he came and worshipped him, and cried with a loud voice and said, What have I to do with thee, Yahweh Shai, thou son of the Most High Yahweh? I adjure thee by Yahweh that thou torment me not. So this evil spirit knew Yahweh Shai, the son of the Heavenly Father. For he said unto him, Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. And he asked him, What is thy name? And he answered, saying, My name is Legion, for we are many. So there were many of them. And he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. Now there was there nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine, feeding. Swine means pig. And all the devils besought him, saying, Send us unto the swine, that we may enter into them. And forthwith Yahushua gave them leave, and the unclean spirit went out and entered into the swine. And yeah, the swine is an unclean beast. So that's why. So these unclean spirits went into an unclean beast. And the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. They were about 2,000 and were choked in the sea. And they that fed the swine fled and told it in the country. Told it in the city and in the country. And they went out to see what it was that was done. And they come to Yahushua and see him that was possessed with the devil, and had the legion sitting and clothed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. So yeah, this man, he got clean by Yahushua, and he was acting normal. Basically, he wasn't bugging out. And there is a lot of people out here bugging out. They got spirits that got them bugging out. And they that saw it told them how it befell to him that was possessed with the devil, and also concerning the swine. And they began to pray him to depart out of their coast. So yeah, there were people from the city was telling Yahushua to leave because they were scared. They thought that he was, a demon too, because he was able to take away this unclean spirit from the man. And when he was coming to the ship, he that had been possessed with the devil prayed him that he might be with him. Howbeit, Yahushua suffered him not, but said unto him, Go home to thy friends and tell them how great things the Adonai Yahweh had done for thee, and had compassion on thee. And he departed and began to publish in the Decapolis how great things Yahushua had done for him, and all the man did marvel. So yeah, the Yahushua, when he was out there preaching, he was cleaning people of the unclean spirits. That's one testimony. There's another one when it was with when Mary in the book of Luke. Luke chapter 8 verse 1, and it said right here, and it came to pass afterward, out he went throughout every city and village, preaching and showing the glad tidings of the kingdom of Yahweh, and the 12 were with him. So those glad tidings represents good news, and those good news is for the Israelites only, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because Yahushua only came to save the lost sheep of the house of Israel, which represents so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That is the only nation that Yahushua died for their sins, because that was the only nation that got the law, statute, and commandments. And we know that transgression of the law, sin is the transgression of the law. So when he was showing these good news, he was showing it only to the Israelites, and it's only for the Israelites. And it came to pass afterward, out he went throughout every city, village, preaching and showing the glad tidings of the kingdom of Yahweh. And the 12 were with him. And a certain woman which had been healed of evil spirits and infirmities, Mary called Magdalena, out of whom went 7 devils. So yeah, she had like 7 unclean spirits. That's another testimony right there. You also got it in the book of Acts. Book of Acts. Because all these evil spirits, all these unclean spirits, they knew who Yahushua was. They knew, because right away when that man saw Yahushua, he came and worshiped him and saying, "Oh thou son of man," which is Yahushua. It's the book of Acts. Where's it? Slot for that? Acts, chapter 19, verse 13, and that's how it be when you know this true. We will have spirits that are gonna be trying to, try to bug us out, but that's why we always gotta fast and pray to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and also read His Word. It's the book of Acts, chapter 19, verse 13. Then certain of the vagabond Jews exercise took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits the name of the Adonai Yahushai. So these were when they saw that the disciples, the apostles of Yahushai were doing great works in the name of the Heavenly Father and Yahushai. They had these other Jews that were trying to use the name of Yahushai. And right here it keeps going. Then certain of the vagabonds Jews exercise took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits the name of the Adonai Yahushai, saying, We adjure you by Yahushai who Paul preach. And there were 7 sons of one Scubal of a Jew, and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirits answered and said, Yahushua I know, and Paul I know, but who are you? But who are ye? So these evil spirits knew who Yahushua was and who Paul is, just like they know who these brothers are who who know this truth, who were blessed by the Heavenly Father for this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and they will be there trying to bug us out, try to, pull us away from the Heavenly Father. But we gotta stand firm, praying, preaching, and reading His Word. And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of the house naked and wounded. So yeah, these scribes and priests, pretty much they got beat up by this person that had an evil spirit. Also in the book of Ephesians, even Ephesians talks about it, that our warfare is not carnal, it's spiritual. Where is it? This book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12 says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against power, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." So yeah, spiritual wickedness. "Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, take the shield of faith." So we have to have faith in this when we're pretty much serving the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and His Son Yahweh Shai. Faith that no matter what situation we are, the Heavenly Father Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has control of everything. "Wherewith ye shall be able to quench all fierce darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahweh." So yeah, this word of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, is like a two-edged sword, like it says in the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 12 says, "For the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart." So yeah, this word of the Heavenly Father, how about Shem Yahshai, be cutting people up. Shit, it even cuts me up. Sometimes when I read the word of the Heavenly Father, there's certain places I'm like, oh damn. It makes you examine yourself. Like, yo, am I walking right? Am I walking how the Heavenly Father, how about Shem Yahshai wants me to walk? So we go back to Ephesians, chapter 6. Verse 14. Alright, 17. "And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the sword of Yahweh, praying always with all prayer." So that's why we always have to pray. We have to pray 3 times. I try my best to pray every morning, every evening, and every night. "Praying always with a prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance, and supplication for all the saints." And we know that the saints are the Israelites. So like it says in the book of Psalms, chapter 148, verse 14 says, "He also exalted the horn of His people, the praise of all His saints, even of the children of Israel." So the saints will be the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. "A people near unto Him, praise ye the Adonai Yahweh." So hopefully this video has been edified. And with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kadash, Shalom.